All right, we are live. It is Ryan Aho. It is Puka. It is the One to Go show. And we're at the 43rd annual Labor Day Shootout. Quick shout out, John Brokowski. You're the winner. $20 gift card to the Bottle Shop. Our partner this weekend, the Bottle Shop, right over the highway. Go through Holiday. Go through Holiday. Second stop sign, you end up at a T right on the right. Bottle Shop, that's where you're going to get your booze. They're open right now, so get over there soon because Minnesota's got a crazy law, so they're not going to be open all night. But because it is Sunday, it is not Saturday. So, all right, here we go. So, pre-race coverage, Labor Day Shootout, Ryan Aho. Why don't we start with some storylines you are following?
Well, I want to shout out. Puka's got low battery, so we just got interrupted there. He's the dumbest smart kid I know. I tell you, you gotta charge this thing up. I mean, come on, you're killing me now.
All my girlfriends keep texting. It's horrible.
Right. My buddy Nick on there watching from home, not feeling well, but he's gonna be watching the races online. I want to shout out to him. But one of the storylines, from last night is there was a little drama in the late models, right? Yes. If you were watching at the end of the race, the 71 and the 6M are not friends today. Okay, they're not. And from what I understand, the track had a sit down with the 71, and I don't think he's coming back tonight. I think they said... I
saw him driving it. I saw him pulling it.
He came in, okay. Because he left. They had a talk. I know they're going to have another talk with him. That's all on them, but they were not happy with his antics last night.
So you were right. So last night, you people saw the video, and he called out the corner judge. He called out the 71. Obviously, you're right, because they had to sit down, and I just saw the 71 like half hour ago before I got here. So good for you. You were right.
And a shout out to the track, right? Because there's a couple guys that really got some horrible calls, okay? And I know one of them called me up and said, hey, the track called me up. They apologized. They let me in for free. The board members did because... The board members aren't making the call. So I thought that was first class. You don't see that. Owning up to their mistakes. I thought that was pretty cool. But, 6 features tonight. Last night, of course, 2 features, right? You had Skeeter Esty Park at Victory Lane. And, of course, in the late model division, the Hermantown Hammer, Daryl Nelson. And Daryl's like, he actually talked to Carson, right, from the Challenge Series. He's like, he locked up the Challenge Series points. It's done. Okay?
Good for you. Congratulations.
And he's like, I don't have to come tomorrow, right? And Carson's like, you probably should. And he's like, well, I'm going to be there. Because he's like, coming into the weekend, he's like, Hibbing's not my favorite place, but I mean, he got a 6th in the mod, 1st in the late model. He had
$3,000 check, right?
Yep. And it's bigger tonight. I think it's
right. 4,000 tonight because they raised it.
Yep. So the storylines tonight, okay, multiple national title implications on the line, right? In the second row, they did the redraw. I don't have it in front of me, but I know this. In the super stocks, it's Kevin Saline, your track champ, and Jim Campbell on the front row. Second row, Shane Sabraski, Kevin Burdick.
Oh.
And that is going to be a hell of a race. Flynn starts third row right behind them.
Oh, there you go. That's what you won last night. You said I want them all together. Perfect.
So if the 7A and 30, if one of them wins, the 30 needs to win this race. Has to win this race because he's not as good as Sabraski at Superior. So if he wins this race, that's going to give him 5 more points. That'll stretch the gap just a little bit. If Sabraski wins, he's going to be within 5 points. Huge title implications.
And Superior and Fergus.
Right,
okay.
Pure stocks. Chad Finkbone, your national point leader. I didn't see what he redrew, but last year, if you remember, they did a back row challenge.
You did a back row challenge. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just me. There was some sponsors involved. But the fact is, he came from dead last corner to the win. I don't think he's going to start that far back. If he wins tonight, I'm going to guess that one's pretty much over as well. So Chad Finkbone, a local guy here, looking for a national title. Shane Sabraski in the mod, really rough night last night. He does not like moisture. Started deep. He needs that track black. But he's got a pretty big lead. Now, the guy that got second, or that's second in national points, won the Big Buck Nationals in Aberdeen.
TPO. Okay.
Yep, so he tightened up the gap a little bit. Sabraski, a pretty comfortable lead there. And then in the late models, Jeffrey Massengill and Derek Vessel are both top 5 in Wissota right now. And Massengill, he tore up a lot of stuff last night. When Wallers got into him, he broke the rack, broke a bunch of stuff. And I think he's kind of locked into second in the Challenge Series, but he's top 5 in Wissota. Derek Vessel, he was quick last night, but just not quite quick enough to get to the front. So the late models, I'm looking for the local guys to win tonight. The
Oh,
local
okay.
guys are
Calling
gonna win.
it.
I originally said Door's going to win day 2, and of course he got second. Or did he get second or third last night?
Third.
Third.
Peter
Yeah, it
was
was
second.
Kyle.
Peter-
Kyle got
Kyle's
second.
Yep.
So Door was good, but I think it's going to be either Kyle or Derek. Them are my picks. Jeffrey Massengill's quick, but I think Kyle and Derek are both faster than him here.
Good picks.
Yep. So it's going to be one of those two in the late models. But you know what's nice? It's cool out, right? You got some overcast skies. It's going to keep, usually day 2, it's a dust bowl. There's moisture on the track right now. So excited about that. Good car count. This is the best car count we had, in quite a few years. So pretty excited about that. A few guys that don't normally come here. And I talked to Kevin Celine, and I'm like, man, you almost had one. He had a really good heat race last night, and Lawrence found something.
He passed Lawrence.
He did. Drove right around him on the top. But another race to keep an eye on tonight. No real national title implications on the line, but some of the best Midwest mods around are here. Of course, Tyler Kittner is a hometown guy.
Yep.
He's a stud. He's really, really fast. He was bolted last night. Mac Esty, a guy that doesn't race barely ever, he hopped in the car. He drove right to the front.
Right.
And then you
Last
got
to first.
Yep, Jason Vandekamp, first time here. He looked really good. And then, of course, you got, there's a bunch of other guys, but those are the 3 to really keep an eye on in the Midwest Mod Division. So let's talk some picks. I talked my late model picks. I didn't make an official pick. I said Derek or Kyle. I think I'm going to stick with that, right? So who's your pick to win the late model feature tonight?
Well, like I said, Derek, Kyle, I like them. I like Massengill. I like, as a dark horse a little bit, Steve Larson. Steve Larson was good last year, and Steve Larson has been really good for about the last 6 weeks. Obviously, it depends on the heat races, all that. I like Kyle a lot, too, but if I had to pick one, I mean, like I said, I keep going back to this. The Double One Express, Pat Dorr, 3rd last night, started about 6th or 7th. I mean, the guy never gets passed.
He's on the podium.
Yeah. That's what I mean. He doesn't get passed, because that was the big thing with Vessel last night. It's like the guys were in the booth here and they're like, Vessel. Well, can he pass Dorr? And he couldn't. So I'll stick with the Double One Express, but I agree with you. I like the locals, especially Kyle Peterlin.
There's a dark horse in this deal. So you got your pick there. I got my local picks, but this guy right here, the 7X Jesse Glenn's hard charger last night. He pouted a little bit. I talked to him. He pouted after the heat. He wasn't going anywhere. He pulled off, and he pulled a typical old Ryan Aho. Oh, might as well load up. Might as well just call it a day. We ain't going anywhere. And they're like, just go out there for the B main. And he did, and he charged up to 7th.
Yeah.
He's another one that's a wheelman. So lots of good late models here. Who's your pick in the modifieds tonight?
Oh, so you had Belfi last night, right? So, and my dark horse was Skeeter Esty. He made the accomplishment. So, like I said, yesterday in the morning, I talked to Dave Kane. That was my pick. I'm going to go with Dave Kane again, because when it's black all the way top to bottom, for all those years, he could find a way to I'm going with Dave Kane. How about you?
He was a turtle last night. He said this ain't a very good pick. Now, Dave Kane's a stud. He's a wheelman, but I don't know. He hasn't showed me enough. I'm going with Johnny Broking.
Yeah.
Johnny was quicker than Skeeter last night, but Skeeter's got a lot of laps.
Did what he had to do. Right,
he does.
Right.
He's got a lot of laps here. He knows when it's on the bottom. Park it on the bottom. Slow down. Hit your marks. He did exactly what he had to do to win. But Johnny Broking was really fast. He was one of the only guys to pass 6th to 2nd last night, and he had a shot. So Johnny Broking, my pick. Now in the super stocks, the 3 best super stocks in all of super stock racing are here: Shane Sabraski, Kevin Burdick, Dave Flynn. Okay, Sabraski, Burdick are row 2. Flynn's in row 3. You pick first.
Oh, Burdick. I got to go with him. Local guy, a lot of laps. He's your defending, and he's your current national champion, so I got to go with him.
I'm going to throw a little curveball here. I think both of those two are going to get upset. The guy that was the most impressive, Shane was fast last night. He was really fast. Burdick was off his mark a little bit. Dave Flynn, I said it in the Power Ranking show, this guy is going to be a title hope wrecker for somebody. He is extremely fast, so Dave Flynn is my pick to win the Super Stocks.
Okay, Midwest Mods. We talked about, Esty. We talked about Vandekamp. We talked about Kittner. What do you think?
I'm going with Tyler Kittner. Tyler Kittner is absolutely my pick. Number one, he needs a Labor Day shootout win. Okay, he is hungry for a Labor Day shootout win. The worst he's finished in Hibbing all year is third. He got a third once, a second once. Everything else has been first. Now, with that said, a dark horse pick that I have for the Midwest Mods, who probably put on the best race of the night last night, Brady Utenin. That second generation driver. What a race with him and Kelly Esty. Kelly Esty, of course, on the bottom like always, and Brady Utenin charging the high side, totally opposite of his dad, by the way, because Al's a bottom plugger, really good on the bottom, but Brady's a hustler. So Tyler Kittner's my pick, but a guy to keep an eye on, Brady Utenin on the 9.
Okay. Go do what? So,
who do you got in the Midwest Mods?
Oh, Midwest Mods. Yeah, I got to pick one. Yeah, let's go with Utenin. Utenin was a stud. I mean, he went up when the track was and he made it work around Esty. Let's go to Brady Utenin.
He did. The heats for the Midwest Mods, the track was the best the track was last night. It was multiple lanes. In the pure stocks, who do you got?
Well, think bone. I mean, that's not too hard.
Really going on a limb. Yeah. Really going on
like
a limb.
I did earlier last week's show. I said I'm going on a limb and picking think bone. How about you? I mean, you can do the same if you have to.
It's hard to pick against him, but I talked to Mikey Blevins walking in, and he goes, "I feel like I got something for the 40 tonight." So I think Thinkbone's going to win, but my dark horse pick, I'd like to see Mikey Blevins get it in victory lane, 15-year-old, second-generation driver. Kid's a stud, so it'd be cool to see him get her done. How about in the Hornets?
Oh, got to go with Chasten Thinkbone. I mean, he's a point champ last night, got the trophy. I mean, I think that trophy was taller than him. You know, he's a young kid, lots of talent, and he loves to win. He's a competitor. Like every week, he's going to the front. He works hard. He grinds. I'll go with Chasten. How about you?
And he's jumping into Chad's Pure Stock next year.
Right.
It sounds like Chad's done. Chasten jumping into the Pure Stock. I'm picking Chasten Thinkbone as well. Al McDougall said Tyler Schrem. There's a guy right there.
Yeah,
that's true. That's a good point. Tyler Schrem could very well have a little something for these guys. That's going to be a pretty good race. They're going to run those two features before intermission. Okay. Right, which I really like. Okay, hats off to Mark Trenberth, Lamb, Snort Thundercloud, whatever you want to call him, right? Because what they did is, we talked about this. It rained during the Hornet feature. What was it, 2 years ago? Was it last year? Yeah, I was down in victory lane last year. And the kid won, and everybody had left.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And you have the most young kids in that Hornet class, so I like that they're running the Hornet feature early in the night, so that way when them kids win and they're in victory lane, they have the whole crowd there. That's a good deal for them. So tip of the cap, Mark Trenberth on that. And same thing with the Pure Stocks. Of course, that's going to be Thinkbone. I think he have one win here, doesn't he? Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
he barely ever loses. So needless to say, there's going to be some good races. We got heats for the mods and for the late models. And then I don't think there's a B main for the Supers, Pures, or Hornets. I know there's a couple Bs for the Midwest Mods, and then 6 features to cap off the 2021 season. You know, any major predictions tonight?
Well, no, I think we got the predictions. Like, congratulations on Daryl. Like I said, the Challenge Series champion, $10,000 check, right? $10,000 check. So congratulations to him, because he's only raced it like 2 or 3 times, I think, in his career, you know, as far as following it, and so congratulations to him.
Well, he actually was leading it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
He decided, I'm going to go after this deal, and then he had just a brain fart, a total brain fart. He didn't have a chip in his MSD box. It wasn't cheating. He just didn't have a chip in there. They never hit the chip anyway. You don't even need a chip in them. I was talking to Canta last night about the chip rule. He's like, you don't need a chip. Nobody ever hits the chip anyway. They're not even that close. But he didn't have it in there, and he ended up losing the Challenge Series over that deal. And this is the first time that somebody from our area, when I say our area, the Iron Range, the Twin Ports, has ever won the Structural Buildings Wasota Late Model Challenge Series. So super cool to see that. My buddy Changa, my right-hand man racing, he says, we're rooting for Daryl and Massengill because we like Canta and Radetzky, but we want those two to finish 1-2 because it's never been done before.
Usually Clare or the Aberdeen area.
Right.
Yeah, so South Dakota. So yeah, that's a very good point. So like you said, moisture on the track. What do you think? I mean, we talked about some track prep last night. I mean, like I said, we came to intermission and the track just widened out a little bit, and it was kind of a hard call. It's like, Do you farm or do you just leave it? Because it was kind of a tough call because you had super heats and then we had the lates and then we had the mods. So, I mean, it's a hard call, but
track prep people they're kind of people of habit, right? They're like, well, we got to farm the track. That's what we do. The best racing of the night last night by far was the Midwest Mod Heats. Then they went into a couple B mains. The track was finally getting wide. It was really racy. The track was getting really good. And then they farmed it. And then it was slime for the super stock heats. And then it was straight marbles for the mods. So typically right after they farm it, it's not very good that next race. So I feel really bad for whoever runs right after they farm it, that you don't want to be in that race. But, they also don't want it to rubber. It did rubber at the end of the late model feature. You don't want it rubber early, and then you got a whole bunch of train races. So it's one of those deals. The clay here is really hard. They got a lot of moisture on it right now.
Never rough.
It's not rough. It's not rough. So I don't know. I think it's just they know what they're coming into. The drivers, it's predictable here. So they know what they got. They know what they're going to race on, and everybody's like fully aware of it when they come. It's hibbing. It's going to be dry. It might be a little marbles. They get it. So whoever's prepared for that is going to get her done. And we made our picks. And I guess if I had to put money on the line, right? If I had to put $100 bill on the line, my sure bet of the night, I'm taking Chad Finkbone on in this one because that don't even count, right? But I'm going to Tyler Kittner because he is so due for a Labor Day shootout, so I want to see that 22 park it in Victory Lane tonight.
All right, awesome. So everybody, we're going to be here for the post-race. You get all the coverage, everything you need to know about it. What happened to the race. Oh, yeah. Swag, too, yeah. Want to go show swag? Find Ryan. Find myself. We're not set up on credit cards or anything online right now, but we're going to be traveling a little bit this fall, so you can catch us. But, yeah, totally awesome. Thanks for showing up. All the way from Chicago, the Ryan Aho. It's so good to see him. I haven't seen you since the NLRA show in Grand Rapids in May. So it's great to see you. So keep tuning in. Thanks for all the sports bars that are joining us. And if you want a gift card, come up and see us, and we'll catch you all in the next video.